Hey guys, Ratchet Reviews here again with another Transformers video review. This time I'll be taking a look at the Cybertron Leader Class Megatron figure. I decided I was going to start taking a look at some of the Decepticons now that I have, after getting about half of my Autobot roster out of the way. So, going ahead and starting with the big bad guy himself, and as you can see, he is massive. That's the first thing that comes to mind when I look at this vehicle, is that this is a huge car mode. For scale, we're going to go ahead and put the Voyager Siege Optimus Prime, so you can just see exactly how big this thing is in vehicle mode. Yeah, this thing is huge. We got a huge drag racer vehicle. It kind of looks like the Batmobile went on an acid trip, so I guess the whole concept of this character design and color scheme was that Megatron rose from the dead from the power of Unicron, so Unicron's essence is invoked in the color scheme, which is why it's so chaotic and neon throughout. Now, if this were the Galaxy Force Takara version, the purples and the greens would be a lot more muted in color. Like, they'd still be there, it's just they'd be a lot more, almost like it's faded out. So I think honestly the Hasbro version looks a lot better than the Takara version, so there's that. One thing I do want to point out is mine is not 100% complete. There's supposed to be little fins here on the top that you can see are just supposed to clip on here that are missing, as well as I am missing the battery cover. But everything else still works and it doesn't affect anything. So, as you can see, with 4 big rolls, it does roll very... 4 big wheels, it does roll very well. We got a nice clear cockpit section here with a seat. Again, Cybertronian vehicle, human cockpit. What sense does that make, especially with a Decepticon who wouldn't affiliate with humans? So, I know that's kind of always been pointed out by other people, but I still find it odd, and it's kind of funny that the biggest and meanest Decepticon still has a little seat for a human. So, no other real details to speak of that we are not seeing already. Some really cool clear plastic for those engine blocks, or those engine turbines. We do get a firing missile gimmick here. There's 2 switches right here, these neon green switches, and they fire out these missiles, and when you push the button down far enough, they do have a little itty bitty LED in there that lights up. Let me see if I can get it to actually show up on camera better. There we go, that's the best it's gonna get, and it does fire a missile out. So that's the missile firing gimmick. Any other gimmicks in this mode would just probably be the Cyber Key. Now we have the Megatron exclusive Cyber Planet Key, with a Decepticon insignia right there front and center, as well as the outline of a Decepticon insignia with wings sticking out of it. This nice metallic, almost gunmetal paint around the border, and it's completely clear, there's no color to it, so there's that. And then to activate the gimmick in this mode, there's the port right there, so we're just going to slide the Cyber Planet key in. And we get a power-up noise and the engine thrusters popping out. And when they do pop out, these centerpieces do spin. And I think... Okay, nope. I thought there was another LED that the back thrusters would light up, so they don't, unfortunately. Now, for transformation, now this thing does technically triple change. We're going to go to his flight mode, his jet first, and we're going to do that by separating this front section here and unpegging this piece from the arm and folding it all the way around, and then pegging that into one of the holes in the wheel, and then do the same on the other side. And there is Megatron in his flight mode. Now, not much has changed from his car mode, except for now he's got a thinner nose cone and kind of wings in the back. And this is very hard to get all on camera because he is just huge. So that's that mode. And no new other gimmicks to speak of at this point. We do get the cyber key ports over here opened up, but they're completely useless in this mode. So we're going to go to robot mode from here. So I'm going to unpeg those parts. Try to get all of this in frame because this is going to be a big one. Take these purple sections here and fold them out. Fold the fin down and around to form the foot. And then I like to bend that ratchet joint, the really loud ratchet crank, one click, and we'll discuss that later. So this right here, see on this side, there is a peg, a small peg on this purple section, and that's going to peg onto the center hole of the wheel. Like so. And then we're going to come here and unpeg the legs from the body of the car. And then rotate this waist section down. And be careful not to fire the missiles off while doing so. And then from here we can straighten the legs out by hinging them forward like that and folding like so, and then pull the waist down one more click. Now we have him standing, so we can go ahead and lift the camera up higher so we can get the rest of this in shot. And then go ahead and fold up these little fins here, and then take this section, this thing right here, and that's going to fold all the way around. I like to kind of do it at a 45-degree angle there. And then fold this one up and rotate it around so it lays against his back like so. And do the same on the other side. Next, come up here, rotate those sections out. And take the arms. Hang on, there we go. So take the arms and separate them out like so, and fold them all the way out to the sides. Take the cockpit section here, smash that in, fold these panels down, and then fold all of this around. That locks into place. And then take the arms, straighten them out, take the little purple section on the arm, and rotate it down, pull it out a little ways, and then rotate it all the way around so it will lay flush against this side of his arm and cover up this black section, which we'll discuss that in a separate video. Rotate the fist out, take this little piece here and fold that out for those spikes on his shoulder, and then do the same for everything on this arm. And then lastly, come down here, pull the head up, and flip the horns forward. And there we have Megatron transformed and in his robot mode. Now, let me see if I can get the entire figure in frame here, because this guy is menacing. I love the way this Megatron looks. The colors, the design, everything just makes this guy look like he will ruin your day. And that is exactly what I want in a Megatron. This thing is mean, he's imposing, and he's huge. So, let me see if I can go ahead and get a close-up. I'll scooch him closer. And zoom in on that beautiful, beautiful face. So, yeah, there is Megatron. Oh, I really love this figure. Before we zoom out, I do want to show off the light piping here, because I do love the way this one is. A huge, huge light piping block on the top of his head. So pretty much no matter where you have light coming from, it's going to glow. Those eyes are going to glow. So that's a really nice, really nice light piping gimmick. Let's keep my lights shut off here for a second here so we can see that better. And yeah, I don't even have... This is without an LED and my desk lights reflecting, and you can see it coming through in the low light right now. And then we just bring that in, and that looks awesome. So, now what else do we have for Megatron? Just like everything else from the Cybertron line, we don't have much in terms of new detail showing. We do have some detail in the hips that was not visible before, as well as the arms. But aside from that, nothing else is really new. Everything else is all visible in his other modes. He does have quite a bit of a backpack going, but that's okay. At least it's a very streamlined backpack, and it houses the electronics, and it doesn't really affect his balance that much right now. Real quick size comparison here. Let's see if I can get in frame. But we have the Leader Class Optimus Prime, from the same line, and as you can see, they do stand pretty nice side by side from one another. Very cool. Very cool. Display piece like that. And just because I'm going to show him off with a modern day leader class figure. So the War for Cybertron Siege Ultra Magnus. And you can just see exactly how much bigger toys were 15 years ago. Again, retail price at $40, retail price at $50. 2005, 2018, 19, whatever. So, yeah, that's a big difference between the two when it comes to size. Now, articulation. We do have a rotation at the neck, which is limited by the hinges on top of his shoulders for the transformation. But we do have a 360-degree swivel at the shoulder before it bangs up against the backpack. We have arm can bend out that far right now. If you get it angled just right, you can bend it all the way out like so. And then we got the elbow pointing outward. We do get a double jointed elbow in there, which will allow for more than 360 degree or 180 degree bend. We do get a rotation in the wrist, full 360. We get a very limited waist swivel. Thanks to the backpack can go that far to that far. Now for the legs, we do have universal hips. We can go out that far, and we can kick that far forward on a ratchet joint before we start clashing onto stuff, and then back that far. And we also have a swivel just above the knee, 90-degree bend at the knee, ankle articulation. The ankle can pivot back and forth and can bend down and up with really loud ratchets. So, very, very nice articulation for the time on this figure. Now, just because of his backpack, that's when it does start affecting the balance, is when you try to pose this figure. So that is a big downfall. Now, for the Cyberkey gimmicks, we're going to go ahead and take a look at his Cyberplanet key again. This time we're going to bring it over here. And so there's two ports for his Cyberkey, one on each side. If we do it on this one here, that pops this out, and then we can take this and plug this piece onto that hole down there on his arm. And we have an arm-mounted death blade. This very powerful looking gauntlet that can just slash you up and just really ruin your day. Very nice. I do like that a lot. I do like the way the claws spring out. The claws are on rubbery plastic, so no worries about hurting yourself or anything. And now, if we come to the other side, I'm going to plug that key back in over here, and this time this one opens up all the way. And then we can take this wheel assembly out of that cavity, close it back up, and then fold the wheel around, and then we have a Gatling gun. So, some pretty cool gimmicks for the Cyber Key. Come on. I'm gonna need to move the camera back up. Get a good look at this. And then this crank on the top of the assembly does rotate, and it spins the wheel around, and that's it. That's all it does, is it just spins the wheel around, but it makes it look like the Gatling gun is spinning so it can fire. So, yeah, there we have it. Now, very, very awesome toy. This is probably my favorite Megatron figure ever that I have owned. So, that being said, I cannot recommend this figure enough. If you can find one complete, it does get a little pricey, but I think for mine I spent like $90 with like 20 shipping about around this time last year. So, and it came with the key and it came with the weapons. I wasn't realizing that it was missing the fins or the battery cover until I got it shipped to my house. So that was on my part for not paying attention to the listing enough. But still, even without those parts, it is an epic looking figure. Definitely a must-have if you're a fan of Megatron, or if you're a fan of Cybertron, or just a Transformers fan in general. This is definitely a must-have figure in the collection. So, yeah, if you can get this for a good price, I do suggest snatching it up as soon as you can. Yeah. Anyways, this has been Rancher Reviews. I hope you guys like this video review, and I will see you next time. Bye.